everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm here with yet another juicy topic. This is just 5 tips to get through life. Yeah, some of the things that we may have wanted as kids growing up, maybe for someone to put you sit down and tell you. I'm just going to put it in 5 tips today. Number 1, become self-aware about your patterns, your emotions, your behaviors, and work on it without judgment. So a lot of people are going through life with certain attitudes and behaviors and certain patterns and addictions and certain ways, characteristics, and some of them are not aware. So people would probably talk behind their backs and not tell them anything in their face because they don't want to get into trouble, right? But if you realize that maybe you're not so good with people, you're always falling onto people, or people are always saying something behind your back, or you're just always ending up in fights or stuff like that, if you notice that, don't just say, oh, I can't stand people are this and that. Check yourself. Yeah, so that's where you become self-aware, right? And start working on those, because I'm sure no one really wants to be in that constant state of anxiety, confusion, chaos, uncertainty. No one really wants to be in that state. So the moment you started noticing these things about yourself, maybe you speak too loud, maybe you're too boisterous, maybe you're a little too confused, you don't listen to people, and people bring it up now and then, be a little self-aware and start working on yourself without judgment. Don't judge yourself, because when you judge yourself hard, you normally tend to judge others like that, right? And there's no solving of a problem when you're judging others or you're even judging yourself. You have a little compassion with yourself, you notice, you work on it. There are different ways that you will work on it, by whether taking counseling, by reading, by watching videos, by talking to someone, by imitating behaviors that are more appropriate. These are all solutions. Okay. Number 2, create goals and then relentlessly work on those goals. And when you make those goals, don't speak on it, because sometimes when you speak out, it may attract negative energy. It may not be intentional, but it normally does. So when you create goals in life, you have a path. A lot of people that are going through life aimlessly is because they have not created goals. They are not working towards something. So they're aimlessly just roaming because they have nothing in their pathway. So if you want to get through life, create a goal. Always know though that there will be obstacles, there will be change of plans, but be flexible. When things don't go the way you want it to go, don't hurt your head about it. Because even the Bible says, many are the plans of man, but God makes his own plans. But it's always good to have a plan. Don't move along with life without a plan, without a goal, even though it's a short-term goal or a long-term goal. It can be a goal for tomorrow. It can be a goal for the next 3 months, 1 year, 5 years, 20 years. Make a goal and relentlessly follow it. Number 3, keep abreast with your overall health. So keep abreast with your physical health, right? If you see something, you notice something, and I'm talking to myself here because I'm one to ignore certain things. Yeah, you see things, work on it. Whether you have to start changing your diet. Some of us know that there are certain things that we have control over. We don't have to run to the doctor for it. Work on those things. You start noticing certain things with your body, pay attention. Don't neglect your spiritual health as well, because we are created as a being that is multifaceted. We're not just the physical, because we lose this physical, but there is something inside of this body and it needs nurturing. And some people, they feed the flesh, they feed the physical, but they forget to feed the spiritual. And that's why we always depressed and anxious and lost, and because we're not feeding our spirit. So whether you make it a habit to wake up in the mornings, to pray, to meditate, to just bask in the presence of God. Make sure I make the time. Even when I fail, sometimes my prayer life sucks. And it can be spiritual attacks, it can just be me being lazy. Because sometimes keeping up my physical sucks. Because we always constantly fighting and battling against the spirit and the flesh. So when my spiritual life is done, when I'm not praying as much, I'm not devoting as much, I am weak spiritually. It's the same thing as food. If you're not eating food, eventually you're going to get weak. You're not drinking water, you're going to get weak. That's what happens to our spiritual life when we don't feed it. When we don't go to church, when we don't listen to uplifting gospel, when we don't listen to uplifting music, when we don't pray, when we don't read the Bible, when we don't talk to other people about God, it dulls our spirit down. Yeah? So the better you feed your spirit, the better spiritual you'll be. Also your mental and your emotional. Ensure that you are doing what you need to do to keep your mental health in check. Whether you need to exercise more often, whether you need to take breaks, whether you have to have a glass of wine in the evening. I'm not saying to have a glass of wine every evening. I'm probably guilty of that, but I'm just saying, whatever you have to get away from certain people, or whether you have to apologize to someone, whatever you have to do to keep peace around you, your mental health, that is very important. Do what you got to do, okay? Number 4, drop all the social or societal expectations. We sometimes do need to drop those things because it can signify that we are under herd mentality. We follow the world, we follow people, and we think someone is expecting us to have this by this age, and you need to achieve this to listen. You are not what you have achieved, really. Yeah, you are not your job. You are not your role as a husband or wife. You are not those things. Yeah, who you truly are on the inside, or your characteristics. Because guess what? Your husband or wife can be taken away from you anytime, whether through death, whether through divorce, what it may be. Your job can be taken away from you, whether you have studied, what you have built as a person, your relentlessness, your reliability, your dependability, your love, your care, your nurturing. Those qualities are what makes you who you are. So don't worry much about societal norms and what society places on you, how you should be, how you should look. I mean, don't get me wrong, take care of yourself. Also, make sure that you're living a life pleasing to God. That's all I'm going to tell you. And if you're struggling there, ask Him to help you. Because believe me, there's nothing really out there. There's nothing. Yeah, so don't worry much about society. Ask God, because even when you're changing, even when you're asking God to help you and take away some of the worldly habits, people are going to condemn you. They're going to be saying, hey, you shouldn't be doing this. Hey, you said you're a Christian, why are you still wearing lipstick or something? They're going to come at you. But you have to always remember that it's your personal journey. God will probably use some of them to help you, but He's going to use them in love. And He's also, remember that the devil is also going to use some of them to get at you, because they want to irritate you and they want to stop you from continuing to push. You will feel that you're not good enough. You're going to feel like, don't give up. Don't worry about societal pressures. Focus your journey on God. Don't conform to herd mentality. Another tip to get through life is to be happy for people for every milestone and achievement that they have gained. If you live a life of resentment and jealousy and envy and hate and unforgiveness, you're going to live a miserable life. Imagine you're living a life and you're never good enough for even your own self. You're always comparing yourself to someone, your neighbor, your friend, your co-worker. Someone did you something, or they said something that hurts you, and you're holding them in your mind, and you're never going to forgive them, and you're always holding on, and every time you see them you always have to screw up your face. That's not a good life to live. People that live these lives of unforgiveness have burdens. A lot of people actually die from holding on to burdens. Some people, you may wonder, like, how is this person not even caring for themselves and they live so long? You see the people on the street and they live long because they don't hold on to grudges. All they care about is getting their dollar to buy what they need, and they don't have nothing else to study. They let go. And that's my journey right now. Someone may get me upset. I'm asking God to help me to deal with it the right way. Even if I didn't deal with it the right way, I'm going to ask him to forgive me, and I'm going to work better the next time. But I'm not going to hold on to it. Because remember, people are also operating under spirits. So you're getting upset with people, you're getting upset with sometimes their spirit. And sometimes you're getting upset with your own spirit because people can be telling you something for your own good, but because of pride and because of the fleshly nature, we don't want to take it, and we're upset and we're holding them in our hearts. Yeah? I can attest to that because it happens to me. It happened to me all the time. Yeah? So please, let me just recap. Become self-aware of all your little quirks, all the things that may not be acceptable behavior, and work on them gracefully without judgment. Create goals and work towards those goals relentlessly, no matter the outcome, no matter the challenges. Keep abreast with your overall health while you do that. Your mental health, your spiritual health, your emotional health, and your physical health. Drop the societal expectations. Just live for God. Live to make yourself happy. Don't join with people. Don't conform to what everyone is doing. That means that you're not so smart. I'm not saying that there are some things that is human nature, yeah? But when you're only following everybody, it's not always the best thing. Because a lot of people are not going the right way. Be happy for people. Don't hold on to unforgiveness and grudges and hate and jealousy. These things poison you from the inside. When you hold on to unforgiveness, it's like drinking poison and thinking that the other person will die. Meanwhile, you're just killing yourself. I hope these tips were helpful, and we'll see each other soon. Take care.